Folks, we're entering into crazy territory now. Ooh, today's a crazy day, as you know. It's this crazy election that's happening. Now, mind you, I'm 30 years old. I've been through many, many elections, and only probably started paying more attention to it back when Obama was running, okay? So there's been many firsts in my lifetime. He's the first black president. Potentially there was a first woman president. And, this past, 4 years ago, 2016, it was the first of many. It was the first woman president or the first non-politician president. So, and now this time, it's, continue with that non-politician or get a man who doesn't even know who he is, who he's running against, who he's running, with or for, and he will be removed, and it's going to be his vice president that'll actually be president. I think we know that. Now, mind you, I think what it is, ultimately, whoever you decide would be the best person to run, you have to understand this. I mean, if you vote for Biden, for example, that's perfectly fine if you agree with his policies, if you agree with his ideas, there's nothing wrong with that because we each have our own opinions. But if you think I've said this before, but if you think he's the one who is president, or going to be president rather, then you got to rethink it here, because he's not going to be the one running the country. It'll be his vice president who will be running. Okay? Did anyone, ask her to be president? So that would be a first as well. It would be a woman. So it's just really interesting when you really think about all this craziness. But ultimately, here's what we have to remember. There is no doubt in my mind who's going to win. But who knows with this crazy thing? Who knows with this crazy thing that's going on in the world? But we have to remember this. Most people are voting because they love Trump, or most people are voting because they hate him. I would say not many people are voting for Biden because they actually like him. I mean, look, there are plenty of people who do, absolutely. If you like him, again, by all means. But either you love Trump or you hate him. And if you hate him, you'll be voting for Biden. Not because you like Biden, but because he's the opposite. And we've already discussed that and the problem with that, to be honest with you. But, there are other candidates. There are other people running. Why not vote for one of them? Why not vote for someone that stands by your belief system? Instead of like, oh, I hate this man, so I'm going to vote for the only other party that could possibly win. Not the Green Party, not the Independent Party, not any of these other parties. Libertarian, I think, is the woman who's running there. So again, you have to just calm your emotions down and figure out what the best thing is, if there is even a best thing, okay? Because what's going to happen, and let me tell you this, it doesn't matter who wins. There is going to be so much chaos in the world. I would say it would definitely be far worse when Trump actually wins re-election here, but it's not to say that it wouldn't be bad on the other side as well, because I think both ways it could be pretty bad, because people are like, there's just no way that this person won, there's no way that this person won, it's just crazy. It's just really, really crazy, because when you look at the actual official polls and numbers, they're like, there's no way Trump could win, but that's what they said 4 years ago. So who knows? Honestly, I think we just got to wait and see. And I would say, it's pretty bad if you live in an area that's going to be breaking out in violence, because I'm sure that there are going to be areas that are. I saw something that, there's going to be go out and vote and then protest immediately. And it's like, okay. So just expect things to get pretty crazy. Okay, pretty much similar to how things were many months ago when that black man died. Okay, when all those riots broke out and all those things that happened. I don't know. Again, I'm not a predictor here of what's to come, but I'm saying be prepared. We have to be prepared, especially if you live in those areas, because you don't know what's going to happen. It's just so much violence. But again, this is the first of many. I mean, again, I'm not really interested in the whole political game. It's really not my interest. But I mean, it's just crazy what's happening in the world. When you combine this presidential thing with the whole what's happening in the world with this virus, I mean, it is insane what is going on. I mean, this is, if any of you say, oh, I've experienced crazier in my life before, then I would like to know what that other crazier is, because I'm sure practically every single one of you can say, this time that we're living in, this year, has been the craziest year of all of our lives. Even my grandmother would say that, she's way older than I am. She's been around for a lot longer, and it's like, this is the craziest year. This is insane. So, but here's what I will say. When it comes to this whole virus situation, and I think this is ultimately what it drills down to, because this has been a huge topic. You already know what my stance is on it, okay? I think people have their rights. People should not be forced to, wear a mask, take a vaccine, to follow these guidelines by their governors, shut down their businesses. I believe businesses should be open. I believe business should be running. And if you want to take the precautions necessary of social distancing and mask wearing and hand sanitizer and all that stuff, you should have the right to do that. But you can't force anyone else to do that. Now, what politician, well, actually not necessarily, what presidential candidate does that align with? Because when we look at it, we have these two people here with very different opposing views on this situation. Okay? Pretty much what I'm describing there is pretty much what Trump has said, pretty much, okay? He said he wants things to open up. He realizes that the precautions that we're taking, the shutting down, all that sort of stuff, is causing more harm. The cure is worse than the whatever it is. I forget the exact saying, but you get the idea. So, and then on the other side, you have Biden, which is just fear-mongering. It's just constant, everyone has to wear a mask. I'm going to make federal mask mandate. It's like, do you want more people to rebel? Because if that happens, more people will be rebelling. I can predict that. It's very easy to predict that, because there's already people rebelling now because they can't stand it. There will be more people if you enforce this rule here. This rule that most people are complying with, mind you, the majority of people are complying with this mask mandate, and you don't see the numbers going down. Okay, you don't see the numbers going down, so that should tell you right there something ain't working right. But also, and here's the other concerning thing about that old man with Alzheimer's / dementia. I'm going to pull this up exactly here. He said that we're going to enter into a dark winter. Do you remember hearing that Biden said we're going to be in a dark winter? Well, dark winter is actually a code name. Let me actually read it to you here. Operation Dark Winter, okay, was the code name for a senior-level bioterrorist attack simulation conducted on June 22nd to 23rd, 2001. It was designed to carry out a mock version of a covert and widespread smallpox attack on the United States. Does he know something that we don't know here? Is this a second dark winter too that is underway, that's happening now, or is going to happen again? Interesting. That's all I'll say. So I will leave you to analyzing your own conclusion with that statement. But yeah, it's just disturbing. But honestly, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I think it really does come down to who you think is going to handle this crisis better. That is pretty much the main talking point. Do you think that we should be opened up and businesses back running. Schools should be open, and people should, get back to their normal lives and make money? Or do you think that the country should be shut down again? We should all be masked. We should all be, tracked and traced, and vaccines and all this sort of stuff. That's ultimately that's ultimately what's going to decide your candidate of choice. That's ultimately what's going to decide it. And yeah, it's just really interesting. It's just really, really interesting. But as I said, even it doesn't matter who wins. If there is a vaccine that comes out, it comes down to the local state and the stores to enforce this. Like, you can't enter this without a vaccine. You can't go back to work without a vaccine. That's not up to the president. That's up to your employer. That's up to the governor. So then you start to realize all those people are involved with this as well. I've realized just since this incident, it's not just about the president, it's about the governors of the states as well. Look at the governors who have shut down stuff. Look at the governors who have stuff more lenient and more open. And again, there is a political party difference here, and it's just astounding. It's just astounding. I never saw it because it creates this huge divide. You have people who are so terrified. Most of them, practically all of them, are Democrats, people who are terrified of this thing. Then you have Republicans like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not scared about it. No mask, no nothing. I don't care. So you see how strange that is, that it's such a political issue when it should not be. It should not be, because it creates this divide in people. There should not be this divide. We should be coming together. And, just over my years of living here, there hasn't been people more divided in my entire life than they are right now in this current state. I think it's because we're heading down these two different realities. The reality of terror and fear, and fear of the unknown, fear of this virus that you cannot see, just terror and fear, which will ultimately lead to government control of everything that you do: surveillance, tracking, tracing, masking, vaccinations, all that sort of stuff forced upon you, and you think it's a good thing because you're saving other people's lives. You think that the government here is to protect you and help you. Then you have people like myself who doesn't trust anything the government says, who says, no, I have my own freedoms, I have my own rights. You cannot tell me what I can and can't do. It is not your right to do that. I want to be free, and I am free, and I will stand up for my rights. So depending on which side that you're on, if you live in a state of fear, you're going to ultimately go down the path where your worst nightmare becomes a reality. And if you're like me, who stands up for your freedom, your rights, and says, I'm going to do what is best for me because I am making a difference in the world and I'm empowering people. I am doing the best for the world and for myself, so people are empowered to make their own informed decision making. If you're like that, then you go down a different path. But yeah, it's just really interesting. So again, just be prepared for what is to come from this, if we even know today. I don't think that we even know today. We may not even know this week, who knows? But honestly, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. As I said, this is a crazy week. This is a crazy day. Who knows what's going to happen? Let me know your thoughts and your predictions. I've already given you mine. I already told you who I think is going to win. It could be, who knows? It could be a landslide. It could be a close call. I don't know. It would be so funny if every single state just turns red, right? Imagine that. It's like, oh wow, there were so many more people for Trump than initially thought. Or what if every state turns blue? Oh, there's so many more people for Biden than we initially thought. Although they're not really, remember now, they're not really for Biden. They're just against Trump anyway. I don't know. That's all. You'll take care. I'll catch you later. Have a great one. Bye.